What is up, my fellow sports fans? Got a decent Week 12 coming up. I say decent because we already had the most watched NFL game in history on Thanksgiving versus my G-Men versus the Cowboys. While it was bad at one point, overall it was a solid win. I promised to do an in-depth one about the Giants-Lions prediction, and I'm going to get you a Giants-Lions prediction, how I was wrong, what really happened, and then a Cowboys-Giants one in the future and Thanksgiving as well. But no Josh Allen. No, most watched game of all time. Leaves us with some not as great stuff, but it's better than it has been in the past. So first, Bucs-Browns. This is a must-win for the Browns. I actually saw an article on NFL.com saying Chris Jones of the Chiefs is overtaking Aaron Donald as the most dominant pass rusher. He's got 9 sacks this year, 7 in the last 5 games. Second in PFF, overall behind Myles Garrett. So they have the best defensive player in football, and they're 3-7. So when Deshaun comes back, they should be able to do some things. Got Amari, Donovan Peoples-Jones have been doing well. Nick Chubb is amazing. Wyatt Teller and Joel Bitonio, 2 of the best guards in football. Donovan Peoples-Jones look good. David Njoku's an athletic specimen. So they're 3-7. That's awful. But if they only lose one game the rest of the year, they're 9-8. They can sneak into the playoffs. Unfortunately, they have to play the Buccaneers. And in the division they're in, they're going to have to play the Bengals and the Browns. They are the Browns. The Bengals and the Ravens. So it's unfortunate, especially because they're probably going to lose this one. Spread's only Tampa Bay -3. I think Tampa Bay is going to cover that. Over is 42.5. I think that gets covered as well. Bengals-Titans, one of the best games on the slate. It's actually it's a rematch of the playoffs when King Henry was kind of battered up. He's fully healthy now. Treylon Burks topped 100 or had 111 yards last week. So they're kind of rolling. Cincinnati's going in the other direction. Jamar Chase is out. Mixon's out. Samaj Pirine is a definition of a plotter. Chris Evans hasn't gotten any playing time this year. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but I do know Joe Burrow is going to make sure they lose or win. If the Bengals lose, they're 6-5, and that is not good. So they need to be 7-4. Even though the Titans are healthier, have a better record, there's a reason the spread is Cincinnati -3. Cincinnati, I don't know if they're going to cover that. They could win on a last-second field goal or something, but they are going to win, and it is going to be on the over. Tennessee offense has been good, and Joe Burrow is good. Next up is the worst game of the week. Bears 3-8 versus the resurgent 6-4 Jets. Justin Fields has looked electric. He was replaced by Trevor Siemian, and Trevor Siemian got hurt in warmups, and Nathan Peterman is playing. Nathan Peterman is one of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history. That is not good. I thought Zach Wilson being replaced by Mike White was boring. Mike White has some stuff. He can make some throws. He's a below-average NFL quarterback, but he's not unserviceable. He's not like a Jimmy Clausen. He's not like a Nathan Peterman. So the Jets are totally going to roll. Poor Bears. I'm sorry for my guy, Chase Claypool. It's going to be a bad one. It's going to be really bad. The Jets have 5 sacks 3 games in a row. Bears have allowed the most sacks in the league. 40 tied with the Colts. They're going to get steamrolled. It's going to be really bad. Khalil Herbert's not playing, so it's David Montgomery can't do it all by himself. Hopefully the Bears can use some trick plays, do something to make it fun, but should not be a good one. The over is 38.5. I'm taking the under, and the spread is Jets by 6. I'm going to take the Jets cover that. Ravens-Jaguars. It's the opposite of the last one. It could be a decent matchup. Ravens 7-3, Jaguars 3-7. I do think the Jaguars are better than they show. They played really well against the Giants. The spread is Baltimore -4, which shows that's crazy. That shows how much the Jaguars compete. Ravens, an incredible stat, both positive and negative. They have had a lead of at least 10 in all 10 of their games this year. That's just the 6th time all time. That is absolutely ridiculous. First of all, they blew 3 of those games, and they have that much firepower on offense and defense to be able to do that. So good for them. Props for them. That's not going to happen this time, though. The Jaguars are going to show up. They do have some pieces, especially on defense. They've got some athletic dudes, and the Ravens game is based on their athleticism. So the Ravens have topped 180 rushing yards 4 games in a row. I do think the Jaguars are going to sell out and stop that. That being said, I do think the Ravens are going to win, cover the spread, and the over is 43.5. I'm not really sure about that one, especially because the Ravens are so dinged up. I'm going to go ahead and take the under on that. Texans 1-8-1 versus Dolphins 7-3. That's an absolute poop bowl. There's a reason Dolphins are projected to win by 14, and that's totally possible. The Texans, this sounds awful. 26 in yards allowed per pass, and they're the worst rush defense in the league. Jeff Wilson's been flying out of a cannon. Derek Stingley's not playing. Like, I never like taking taking the spread when a team is favored by this much, but I actually kind of think Miami is going to steamroll them. Who's going to stop Tyreek and Waddle with Stingley not playing? There's only one Jalen Peacher. He can't cover them both. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. And they switched to Kyle Allen. So even if Kyle Allen has more juice than Davis Mills, which I personally don't think he does, he doesn't have the weapons or the wherewithal to make sure that this goes the right way. The Dolphins pass rush hasn't been great. Fifth fewest pressure in the NFL, but also they just added Bradley Chubb, who's still getting acclimated. So I think it's going to be a really, really bad game. The over is 47. I'm going to take the over because the Dolphins could put up 47 on their own. Falcons, Commanders, great game. Falcons 5-6, Commanders 6-5. It's going to be a terrific game. Run offense versus run defense. Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen are a menace, so they're going to take this one for Washington. I wish Chase Young was playing to make me even more certain. He's not, but neither is Kyle Pitts. So that makes the Falcons offense more predictable. I do think the Commanders have enough pieces to stop them. Speaking of the Commanders, they just beat the Eagles, and I'm just going to jump to that one. The Eagles won whole. They've got my guy Darius Slay and James Bradbury from the Giants killing on the outside. Nickel has been a problem for them. So the Redskins put Terry McLaurin in the slot where he roasted them. They're talking about the Packers doing the same thing with Christian Watson. Even though Lazard has gotten more targets and routes run over the past couple weeks than Christian Watson, when they need it in a moment on fourth downs, who they're going to put him in the slot to target him. So I think the answer to beating them is going to be to target them in the slot, and they're going to do that with Christian Watson. That being said, to beat them, they're not going to beat them, but they're going to make it a game again. And that's actually scary because if the Eagles keep playing contested games, that's how you win in the playoffs, those contested games. And Jalen Hurts has done some things. I've always been a Jalen Hurts fan. He's a workout warrior. He's a film warrior. He has, in a 30-start span, 30 touchdown passes and 20 touchdown runs. And he's only the third QB to do that since 1970. Like, that's crazy to me. I know RG3 got hurt, and Vic wasn't quite the runner when he was on the Eagles, and he wasn't the passer on the Falcons. But, like, I would think Lamar has done that. Like, 30 starts, I guess it's 2 years. Never mind. I was thinking Josh Allen. So 10. Oh, it makes sense. Yeah, 10 touchdowns a year. That's really hard. So that's actually not that surprising. That's just 15. So basically they're saying, never mind, that's kind of a leading stat. 10 touchdowns a year, 2 years in a row. Yeah, who does that? So actually, of course, he's the third. That's pretty much Cam Newton territory only. But the Eagles, they most likely will come away with this one, but the spread is 6.5. I'm not going to say the Eagles cover the spread. Aaron Rodgers is going to put up a fight. Their offense has been looking better. And the over is 46. I am going to take the over on this one. So that is a great Sunday night game. The Monday night game, not as great. Steelers, Colts, neither team has been fun to watch. TJ Watt is fun to watch. Alex Highsmith has 9 sacks. He's been fun to watch. They're going to bring the heat. The Steelers are going to take the Colts down, which is funny because the spread is Indy minus 2.5. Definitely take the Steelers covering that. And then the over-under is 39. I'm going to go under. These are two pretty low-powered offenses. Not much to talk about here. Sorry, Jonathan Taylor. You're good, but I don't want to talk about this game. I'm running away from this. Saints Niners. This could be a really bad game. The records don't look as bad. Niners 6-4, Saints 4-7. The Saints have been awful recently. They got a surprise. They're putting up some points against the Rams last weekend. Finally gave my guy Taysom the ball a little more. 9 carries, 52 yards. Had some snaps at quarterback. They said they're going to give it to him more, so they could surprise and put up more if they do. But if they don't give the ball to Taysom, they are going to get destroyed. The spread is SF 9.5 for a reason, and I actually think SF's going to win by more than that. They've been really good since they added McCaffrey. The over is 40, or the over-under, the spread's 40, the over-under is 43. Words. That's a tough one. 23-20. If the Saints put up 13, that means the Niners have to put up 31. 31's kind of a bit, but the Saints could also put up more than 13. They could get a defensive touchdown, special teams touchdown. So even though it sounds like a lot, the Niners offense has been better. Jimmy Garoppolo averages 8.1 yards per carry, yards per attempt. Sorry for not mentioning this Tua. Tua's up at 9.1, way better than everyone else. Hurts, 8.3. Mahomes, 8.2. Tannehill is at 8.1, and tied with him is Jimmy Garoppolo. I never would have thought Jimmy Garoppolo has more yards per attempt than Josh Allen. Josh Allen is airing the ball out all the time. Also does his checkdowns. His completion percentage is decent. Josh Allen's my guy. We all know this. I cannot believe Jimmy Garoppolo and Ryan Tannehill have higher yards per attempt than him. Tannehill makes sense a little bit because the lethal run game, Henry, and then going deep. The Niners run game has been good, but wow. And the short passes to Debo, I guess Debo does some stuff that maybe pops it up more than the short pass to Devin Singletary and Dawson Knox do with, killing Debo. I guess it makes sense. So maybe I'm not as shocked, but no, I'm surprised. I'm definitely surprised. I guess they're more pass-friendly situations for Garoppolo, and Josh has to carry some load. But whatever, I'm still proud of you, Jimmy Garoppolo. 8.1, you're a good-looking dude. Yards per attempt is good-looking. Niners are going to roll the Saints. And then Rams, Chiefs. Oh man, this is bad. The Rams have been on such a downturn. This is one of the worst stats I've ever heard. It's been more than a month since the Rams covered a spread, just shy of 11 months since they covered a regular season game that went over the total. So they're going under. Aaron Donald drags stuff down. Their horrible offense drags things down. Spread is Kansas City minus 15. Gotta say Kansas City wins by more than that. And the spread's 42. Kansas City could, I was joking about the Dolphins putting up 47. Kansas City could put up 42. Their offense, they know how to do magic. They're going to find ways to exploit stuff. The stats get worse and worse. Mahomes against the NFC is, where was that? Well, I'll read what it says. 19-3 in week 12 or later, best record since 66. 10-1 in his career at home, week 12 or later. Only regular season loss was against the Chargers. The Chiefs have won their past 13 games against the NFC. The last time they lost was to Aaron Rodgers. This is not Aaron Rodgers. This is probably Bryce Perkins. Kyron Williams is actually kind of solid. I'm not going to talk bad about him. Cooper Kupp's not playing. This is a bad game. This is going to be bad. I'm sorry, Rams. I like you guys. Raiders, Seahawks. This is going to be a shootout. Spread is 47.5. I'm going over. Seahawks -4. I'm going to barely take that. But I could go either way. Carr's been dinged up, but this is a worse stat. I said the last one was good. This is worse than the last one was good. Vegas has 12 sacks this year. Max Crosby has 9. You can have defensive backs have that many sacks. Jonathan Abram is like a ball hawking, like a heat-seeking missile safety. Put him at linebacker. Rush him a couple times. He could have 3 sacks. No one else has more than 1. It's literally Max Crosby and nobody. How is that possible? You have Chandler Jones. You have other humans. If Max Crosby's getting doubled, you'd think anyone could get it. They had Jonathan Hankins. If you're getting that little pressure, don't trade a DT for a 6th-round pick. That is awful. Seahawks 6th in pass block win rate. Geno should have time to get the ball to DK and Lockett. So that's not good. But Devontae's been killing it the last 3 games. 413 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's now up to 10 for the year. He's only one of 6 people to have 6 years of 10 touchdowns or more, joining Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Marvin Harrison, Terrell Owens, Chris Carter. People don't realize it. He's one of the best receivers of all time. He's the best receiver in the NFL. He's going to show Tariq Woolen that. The Seahawks have allowed the 21st most pass yards in the league this year. He's going to keep his tear up. He's going to top 100. He's going to get a touchdown. Tariq, there could be a bad throw. He could get a pick or something. Tariq's good. I'm not knocking him, but no one can handle Devontae Adams. Not Patrick Surtain, not anybody. I'm over here talking about how good Devontae Adams is, but the Seahawks look great. They're gonna do really well. And then speaking of who's doing great, the Cardinals are not. They're on a huge downward spiral. Spread is Chargers -3. Chargers are totally gonna top that. As I said, one of my favorite paper teams. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are back and ready to go. They got Eckler. The Chargers haven't held any QB under 61% completion percentage. It's looking bad for the Cardinals. Nuke has absolutely been killing it since he came back in week 7, though, second to my guy, Devontae Adams. So, the Cardinals could keep up. Kyler is always fun, but that Chargers defense with Bosa and Mack is not fun for Kyler at all. So this is a good matchup for the Chargers. Definitely taking them. And then Broncos, Panthers doesn't deserve to be talked about. Oh, my God. Broncos 14.7 points per game, worse in the NFL. Panthers are 18.9. Russ's QBR this year is 32.3. That's awful. QBs is for the Panthers is 20.8, even worse. In the past 2 years, 36 QBs have 10 starts or more. Mayfield has the worst QBR at 32, which is the exact same as Wilson's this year, 32.3. And then Darnold's 39.5 is 33rd. Mayfield's this year, 17.8, is the second worst since QBR is a thing in 2006. And that's why I remember Jimmy Claus's name, because he's worse. So 2 worst QBs are all the Panthers. Panthers QBs suck. Like, this is awful. But their pass rush is amazing. Brian Burns is that guy. The Broncos, if they run the ball 30 times, will be the 7th team to do that this year. And that's very possible because no one wants to get their quarterback smacked. So Russell is a little elusive. Maybe they could only run the ball 25 times because Latavius has been kind of a plotter. But when he's healthy, his comp was actually Adrian Peterson, 6'2", 230 pounds, very good vertical speed, not as agile, but hand the ball, run forward, he can get you a few yards. So he is that kind of guy. Everyone's like, oh, Latavius Murray, boring, sucks. I'm playing against him in fantasy. I'm like, not scared. And then I think about it, I'm like, wait, I think I am scared. But I'm not going to watch because that game's horrible. Spreads, Denver minus 1.5. I guess I'm taking Denver. And the over-under is 36. I'm definitely going under. So I said it wasn't a great matchup. There are some good matchups. Should be fun. Thanks for your time, you guys.